Los Angeles, 2016. You're not the confident girl you were before you met Hunter, Mom said on the other side of the phone. Thanks for that. I stuffed a Cheeto puff into my mouth, getting orange dust all over my sheets. It wasn't meant to be a dig, Mom sighed. It's never meant to be, but it always is. I rolled my eyes, taking my anger at Hunter out on my mom. I'm telling you, go to Landmark. Her voice lit up. My weekend there changed my life. It shows you your blind spots and how to fix them. Landmark was a personal and professional growth training and development forum, the latest of Mom's woo-woo bullshit. So I have to go to some stupid weekend retreat to fix myself while Hunter just gets to lead me on and do no work and worry about nothing? I ate another Cheeto puff. It's not fair, but neither is being a woman. The only question you have to ask yourself is, do you want to keep him or do you want to lose him? I sighed. No. What if this one weekend changes everything for you two? But it's Hunter's birthday this weekend, I whined. I'd have to miss it. And wouldn't this be the best gift you could give him? Fixing yourself for him? Mom continued. I hesitated. It stung to hear it put that way, but deep down, I knew she was right. We were at a breaking point, and Hunter wasn't going to do anything about it. If anyone was going to save this relationship, it would have to be me. I decided to go and called Hunter, my heart pounding at letting him down. Baby, I know it'll suck for me to miss your birthday, but what if this weekend changes everything for us? I tried to keep my tone upbeat. Do you really think that's possible? Hunter responded. I want to hope so. I paused. Look, I know my insecurities are driving us apart, but doesn't our love deserve one more chance? Reluctantly, Hunter said. Yeah, sure, of course, you're right. This is going to save us, I know it. I felt a flicker of hope in my chest. Well, have a good time, Hunter responded, dry as a bone. And have the best birthday ever. No phones are allowed all weekend, so I'll be off the grid, but know how much I love you and that I'm doing this for us, okay? I know. Love you too. The first day of Landmark, I resisted. I felt completely out of place. The room was packed with strangers much older than me, sitting in metal folding chairs under fluorescent lights. It felt like some kind of self-help cult. The instructor was a sharp-eyed woman who looked like she'd seen straight through every excuse in the book. She paced at the front of the room. The next 3 days, I will use a mix of direct questioning, interactive discussions, and personal storytelling to help you uncover the lies that you believe about yourself and shift your perspective. Sound good? Mumbles of agreement and nods filled the room. Let me tell you about a woman named Donna, the instructor continued. Donna was 5 years old, and all she wanted for her birthday was a shiny red tricycle. She had seen the other kids in her neighborhood riding theirs, laughing as they raced down the sidewalk. She imagined feeling the wind in her hair and fitting in with everyone else. But on the morning of her birthday, there was no tricycle. Instead, her parents gave her a small doll. They smiled at her, waiting for her excitement, but all she felt was shame. All the other kids had tricycles, but not Donna. In that moment, Donna decided something, not consciously, not in words, but deep in the fabric of her being. I am poor, and being poor is embarrassing. That belief followed her everywhere. She worked harder than anyone else in school, desperate to prove herself. As an adult, she built a massively successful business, outworking and out-hustling everyone around her. She became powerful, independent, wealthy beyond measure. But even with everything money could buy her, Donna was miserable. Nothing she could buy could fill the hole inside of her. Deep down, that ashamed little girl still lived inside of Donna. The one who didn't fit in, the one who felt poor, the one who felt worthless. The little girl was the driving force underneath everything Donna had built. The little girl ran the show, and that little girl crumbled every time Donna was triggered by her old wounds. It wasn't until Donna sat in this room, in a chair just like you, that she realized she wasn't chasing success. She was running away from the feeling of being less than, of being worthless. She had spent her entire life trying to outrun a belief that was never true in the first place. The instructor let the silence settle before she asked, "Now let me ask you, what belief have you been running from?" She let the question hang in the air, scanning the room before landing on a bald, middle-aged man. "You," she said. "Who would you be if you stopped believing the lie that you decided was true about yourself as a child?" He shifted uncomfortably. "I'd be free," he murmured. "And what's the lie you believed?" she pressed. He scratched his head. I'm no good." My chest tightened. His words scraped against something raw inside of me. She scanned the room looking for her next victim. Everyone's eyes were down, but mine. "You," she said. My stomach twisted. "What lie have you believed?" I swallowed, my throat dry, considering. And the words came out of my mouth before I could even think them. That love has to be earned. She nodded, as if she already knew. "And what has that belief cost you?" "Everything," I exhaled sharply. "What's your name, dear?" "Spencer," I said. "I want you to close your eyes, Spencer, and see that little girl inside of you and ask her when she first learned that love had to be earned." I closed my eyes, and I saw myself suddenly, 4 years old, wearing a yellow and red striped dress, performing a dance to get my parents' attention. Then I saw her at 10, showing Dad a report card to prove what a good girl she was. I saw her at 13, counting calories. Then at 15, afraid to make a mistake and get in trouble. Memories continued flashing like a montage, and it hit me like a tidal wave. Attention came from achievement. Love came with conditions. That little girl inside of me was desperate for approval, bending and shrinking to fit into whatever version was the most lovable. Emotions caught at my throat, but I was unable to show emotions in front of all these strangers. "You're still that little girl, Spencer," she said, her voice gentle but firm, "until you decide you're not." Her words hit me like a punch in the chest. I realized in that moment how deeply I believed I had to prove my worthiness to be loved. That belief had been running the show of my entire life. It had shaped everything: my relationships, my self-worth, how I clung to Hunter, desperate for validation. I saw it all so clearly now. It wasn't about Hunter. I was using him to prove to myself that I was lovable. Instead of finding that love from within, I had been outsourcing it, begging for it, bargaining for it. She placed her hands gently on my shoulders. "Good work, Spencer. Who's next?" My heart cracked open as I listened to people share their stories. Abuse, abandonment, rejection, loss, heartbreak, death, addiction. The air in the room was thick with grief, but also with something else. Something sacred. None of us were alone in our suffering. We had all been carrying these invisible wounds, these stories we never questioned, these lies we had mistaken for truth. And then another realization hit me like a freight train. My victim mindset, the way I felt powerless in my relationship, it wasn't even mine. I had inherited it from my maternal line going back generations. Their wounds had become my wounds. But just because I had inherited them did not mean I had to keep living them. I could break the cycle. The next 2 days were filled with bonding, unlearning, and revelations. I walked out cracked wide open, and it gave me something I never had before: a reason for the suffering. And even more importantly, a solution. I had found my way forward. I could bring all this new knowledge into my relationship and fix things with Hunter. My only wish was that I'd done this sooner, before the rot had infected my relationship so deeply. When I turned my phone on after days of it being off, my screen lit up with messages. I tried calling Hunter, eager to share everything I had learned, but it went straight to voicemail. He was probably still sleeping off the aftermath of his birthday weekend. I drove home and crawled into bed, exhausted and excited for what was to come. I opened Instagram to see the pictures from Hunter's celebration. His latest post was a picture of him blowing out the candles on a giant Costco cake, surrounded by all of our friends. I smiled, happy to see him happy. And then I noticed a blonde girl standing right behind him who I didn't recognize. Odd. I thought I knew all his friends. I pushed it aside. I had just found the cure for my darkness, and I wasn't about to let any worrying thoughts drag me back under. It would take work, but once you know why something is broken, you can begin to fix it. And I would do anything it took to fix us.